Okay, so Defy Me came out April 2nd. I was there, I was ready to read. Let's get on with it. So I will say I will have a kinda non-spoilery section. I say kinda because listen, if you have not read the first 4 books in the series, you're going to get spoiled. Not for necessarily Defy Me in this spoilery section, but just the first 4 books, because I really cannot tell you what this book is about or like be very what's that word? Subtle about what's going on in this book without kind of spoiling you for the future if you want to read this series. So I apologize. However, if you guys still want something like Shatter Me themed, I edited it myself onto the Shatter Me book covers. It was really fun. I had a blast doing it. It's like my favorite video now. I was also hilarious in that video, so ha ha ha. Please go watch that. I'll really appreciate that. For all you guys that have read the first 4 books, this book is pretty much just picking up exactly where Restore Me picked up. Wait, Restore Me left off. Juliet and Warner have both been kidnapped by the reestablishment. What? Crazy, right? And also, we now know that Juliet is the daughter of the Supreme Commanders of Oceania, something like that. Either way, we were also putting together the pieces of Juliet and Warner's past together and basically just seeing like why and how they lost their memories in the first place and what is Juliet's role in the future of the reestablishment. I loved this book while reading it. It was fast, I had so much fun, it was great, wonderful, boom, 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 boom. That is how the plot was going. It was not boring to me at all. Like in the beginning it kind of was because it was only like Kenji's point of view. We also have his point of view in this book, and I did like it while I was reading it, but it's also like, oh my god, I'm gonna read Warner and Juliet, you know? But I ended up only giving it a 4 out of 5 stars simply because there are things that happen in this book that I kind of have problems with, okay? I did still like it. I actually probably enjoyed reading this novel the most after Ignite Me. I had a lot of fun. It was great. Nice time. But, thank you, Taherah. But, major problems for me. Can't really go into my problems with this book without spoiling you. So I'm really sorry. That's all I can really tell you guys for now. But if you guys read it, you can come back and watch me like review it all later. Bye! Don't get spoiled. Unless you guys want to be spoiled. Sometimes I do that to myself too. Bye! Unless you guys want to be spoiled. While jotting down my notes in my mind, I don't actually write notes, I just jot down my mind. I'm not sure how that's really working out for me, but while doing that, I really didn't write anything I loved about this book, and the worst part is that I actually really did love it. Like while reading it, I had so much fun. I suppose that the negative just kind of like made me forget the positive a bit, so I did come up with things that I like, but they kind of seem minor based off what I'm about to say. But just remember that I still did enjoy this novel. It was not unenjoyable. It was great. It was nice. But a couple problems. The first one is admittingly maybe a me problem, but you may relate, and that's simply that realistically, I know that Taherah and Mafi did not like map out Restore Me and Defy Me while she was writing the original Shatter Me trilogy, because it was supposed to be a trilogy. So why would she like think about publishing this in the future and like set down the bricks for this series in the past? But I will say that our main antagonist, Anderson, he's back in this book. Why is Anderson still alive? I'm pretty sure we shot him in the head. But apparently he took on like Sarah and Sonya, I think that's their names, healing powers, and now he can kind of like heal himself, and that is how he's still alive. But what I was trying to say is simply that I feel like Anderson's character doesn't make all that much sense anymore. To me, in the past when we read Anderson, he came off as being as calculated as Warner, maybe even more so, and while we still knew he was like an abusive piece of crap, it was almost like he knew like where to draw the line. Like, yeah, he's going to beat Warner, he's going to abuse him, but he wouldn't kill his son no matter how much he hates him, because he needs Warner in order to succeed. But reading this book, he tried to kill Juliet multiple times because like of his anger, and the thing is, Juliet was his biggest project, and that would have lost him like a lot of credit, and I just felt like that was kind of odd and off. I just couldn't believe that. Like, I read it and like I believe it, but I believe it hesitantly. Like, okay, sure, like we can roll along with it. It's not going to like make me set this book down. It's like, OMG, the characters are out of character, which I did see that complaint for Warner, and I'll get to that. I don't understand him. I don't get it. But that scene, oh my god, when Warner just like threw the letter opener, that was amazing. I was crying. Just looking at him destroy this man that has ruined his life, that was wonderful. I did not know I needed that. Speaking of Warner, Warner is not Warner anymore. He's Aaron, and Juliet is Ella. And first of all, No. I have read books in the past where we've had name changes and sometimes it feels more natural than others. I won't mention any series simply because I don't want you guys to be spoiled for them. However, it's always felt a lot more natural than this one. I get that Juliet's original name was Ella. That is the name that her parents gave her. That is the girl that she forgot that she was. But Ella was the one to me that was chosen to be tortured and the one that was the puppet. And Juliet is the one that like grew above things and she ended up thriving, and she's the character that we know and love. So I was hoping it was going to be like Juliet, like she's tragic like her namesake, but more like Juliet, the only tragedy is going to be for you, and that's not what happened. Ella just doesn't feel natural. I feel like the transition period to calling Juliet Ella was really just like that. I mean, like Kenji and Ian, and I hate Ian by the way, Kenji and Ian and Alia and Nazira were just calling her Ella already, which Nazira makes sense because she's known Juliet for the most part as Ella, but for the other characters it was almost too natural. Like Kenji still calls like Ella J, like J for Juliet. He still doesn't like really struggle calling her Ella either though. You guys ever played that game where it's like, hey, if I had another name, what would my name be? Like what would suit me? And you guys just really try hard, but the only name that makes sense for that person is the name that they currently have. Especially because her transition to Ella did not even feel powerful or like inspiring in any type of way. It's like, okay, that's my real name, might as well go by it. And plus, I think Juliet is pretty. I think Juliet is so pretty, a lot prettier than Ella. I mean, if Juliet likes that more, then fine, but she's just always gonna be Juliet, okay? Warner going by Aaron does not bother me as much simply because that was already Aaron to Juliet in like book 2 and 3. Like yeah, when she thought about him, she still thought of him as a Warner, but it wasn't as abrupt. Like we were still kind of calling him Aaron in the first place. So that didn't bother me. I didn't notice it while reading it, but I think that's because my name is Aaron. So like I just read like Aaron on the page so many times that I thought about myself. So I don't really have a problem with that part of the whole name change ideal. So we did meet Juliet's parents in this book, and I obviously hate them, but here's why I hate them. I feel like it's kind of interesting, maybe not, but I hate them because of that pancake scene that we got. They would have pancakes every single Sunday. It was their family thing, a family tradition, and I just feel like that's extremely cruel. I don't know if anyone else thought about this, so I'm just gonna like share my 2 cents, but I feel like if you literally had a child to doom them, to use them, why would you even give this belief of love? Like why would you even invest your time? I'm not saying that I want them to get like beaten or abused, but still, like you're making them feel safe and at home and they're not, and you know what you're doing. It really PO'd me. Like it was just so misleading and so cruel because you took something from them that was actually genuinely lovely, and to me I just feel like that's the worst thing that you can do to a child. I kind of like already talked about it with like Warner's dad, Anderson, but okay, some things like happen in this book and I guess they make sense. There's no plot holes or anything, but I'm just like reluctant to accept it. Like Operation Synthesis, when I read that I felt terror, but I also rolled my eyes like, okay, this was definitely planned from the beginning. And I know that the original trilogy was 3 books, so Taherah was not like rubbing her hands together and playing it from the start, but it's almost like it's just certain things I cannot take seriously. And it's like, yeah, they make sense, but me, I'm just like, And the worst part is that they actually make sense. I'm just like being a jerk right now, I know, but it's like, okay, Operation Synthesis, sure. Even Castle having a daughter now, like Noria seems dope, don't get me wrong, but like in the past we only heard about his sons, so okay, his daughter. Let's just roll with this, you know? However, that did not make my rating go down because as I acknowledged, like it was supposed to be a trilogy, but also there's not a major plot hole that I've seen, so I'm not mad about it. I had to laugh whenever something that's just kind of like popped up, you know? So people that are saying that Warner's out of character, I just think that you're wrong, and here's why. We are entitled to our opinions, but I just really disagree with yours because to me, Warner is happy. I did kind of think for one scene that he was out of character, and that's the one where he's at Noria's camp and he almost feels like really light, and he's talking about how he's just so happy to have this responsibility off of him. And when I read that, I did think it was like odd for Warner. Like, okay, like Warner who's also super calculated and like the boss, like he likes to be the boss of things. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that Warner has never had the chance to just have a day off. He's literally been conditioned since he was a baby to be the person that he is, to be the leader that he is. And so for one day to not feel endangered, to not feel like you had to like pick up everyone else's slack and be the leader, I understand why he loved that so much. I do not see that lasting forever. I don't think that he would like to not have a leadership role simply because he's very like get the job done type of person. Day off, that was not really out of character to me. I feel like he deserved that. So we met Emeline finally in this book, and I was not expecting her to die. Maybe I'm dumb. I would not be surprised. But when I was imagining Emeline, I was not expecting a fish from The Shape of Water. I was terrified. Like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, I knew she was not bad. It was like heartbreaking. Like, I started to tear up. Like, oh my god, like they really like rule your life. I wasn't terrified of her. I was just terrified about the fact that they would do this to this little girl, you know? And the fact that Warner, like, he was torturing her. He didn't have no questions. Like, I get like why he didn't ask them, but yeah, like her feet and her hands are webbed and she doesn't really have a nose anymore. She's kind of like Voldemort. Okay, I'm here with a time jump. You've experienced time travel now. Congratulations. Because as much as I just said, like, oh, I pity Emeline, I dragged her in this video. I said that this little girl looks like the monster from The Shape of Water and Voldemort. That's disrespectful of me, and I just feel like Emeline deserves a formal apology, so I'm sorry. You deserve better, sis. And I pitied her. I cried. That was by far the most heartbreaking scene. A scene that did not get any reaction out of me is the Warner reunion scene. That scene was just extremely underwhelming. I would have preferred if they met each other earlier when like Warner just killed his dad and Juliet was like escaping after killing her mom. That would have been a lot more like dramatic and would have left out a lot more. But this like plain reunion scene, it did not butter my biscuits. I was just, okay, I guess they're back together now. Like, nothing really happened after that. Time jump, Aaron. Hello, you've experienced time travel. So, I forgot to mention, I don't understand why, like, Juliet apologized to Warner on the plane. Like, okay, I get it. Warner kind of ran out of options. His mom was suffering. He wanted to be with her. Like, I get it, I understand. And I do think there needed to be an apology on both sides, simply because being in a relationship is having that, you know, like that, ooh, I don't know, I've never been in a relationship, but you get what I'm trying to say, okay? But Warner also not apologizing. Like, yeah, we knew he was sorry, but still, like, I didn't understand, like, why it was such a big deal that Juliet apologized and then Warner didn't. Like, yeah, I'm sorry about your sister. I'm not really, like, mad at Warner. I just feel like that's a huge thing to kind of just leave out. So, I guess Dalalu's dead now, and that's pretty sad. But I wish that we would have saw, like, Kenji's reaction and Warner's reaction especially. Like, how's Warner going to react when he learns that his grandfather's dead? They kind of had like a thing going on, and apparently Dalalu was like in the know, which I knew he was in the know, but not like in the know. So I'm not really sure how I feel about him anymore. My favorite quote in this book was, "Homeboy came through." That was the best quote by far. Good job, Kenji. Always giving us the best lines. We're not getting married. Like, literally, while I was annotating my book, I wrote, well, if we're changing our names, it might as well just be Ella Warner. Like, I was here for it. Like, let's do this. But looking back on it, like, I don't want them to not get married, but at the same time, I just don't feel like it's necessary. Like, yeah, like, do what you want with your life and all, but I'm also kind of not here for it. Like, I don't know. They just feel too young. I just feel like they're old. Like, they have really old spirits, I suppose, you know, whatever. I know that they love each other. I know they're going to be spending forever together, but I'm not ready. Like, I'm not ready for the worn out wedding. It just doesn't feel like it's the right time. So that's my really quick review over Defy Me by Taherah and Mafi. I did like this book. I had a really like fun time reading it. I blew right through it. Just a couple of issues. Nothing major that like ruins the series for me. Biggest problem, if you guys did not pick up on it, is Ella. Ella is not Juliet, okay? She is a completely separate person. It doesn't feel like Juliet at all when I read the name Ella. It just feels like someone else. I don't know her. I hope that maybe it grows on me in the future, but as of now, I just feel like the execution of Ella was whack. And I do love Taherah, but that just, no. If you like this video, please like it down below, leave your comment, your thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear them. And if you guys want to see more, subscribe. I would love new subscribers. That's great. Hope to see you next time. Bye.